Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Yes, you're, hey, we're already 30 minutes into the show here.
I'm exhausted. Can I go home?
Give it 52 minutes, JJ.
Okay.
All right.
I'll stick it out.
All right, so you've got yourself some Mammoth hockey tonight, and the Washington Capitals playing host tonight to the Mammoth, who are in desperate need of getting the taste of that awful, awful loss to the Blackhawks out of their mouth on Sunday. It was just an ugly game, top to bottom. And that was interesting because you did the Mammoth update last hour, and Mikhail Sergachev was one of those guys that you can always rely on for like leadership on the ice. All that. He had a bad game. He had a bad defensive outing.
His lackadaisical effort, being blunt, his lackadaisical effort cost him that first goal.
It's
Get
tough.
the puck out of the way in the front of the net, clear that puck, and have some urgency.
Yeah, and Chicago had it.
The casualness in that game by some of those guys was unacceptable.
Yeah.
Look, they know it. I'm not saying anything here that they didn't know. Bear Turney called him out after the game, and he had every right to. That was an unacceptable performance.
It was bad, and so I think the further you can get away from that, obviously it helps with the win. And the Caps are good, and they've got a lot to play for. Not that you would think anybody in the NHL would give up any time, but the Capitals are in a fight themselves. The Mammoth are in a crazy race right now. Maybe the most difficult in across all the playoff spots that are available. The wild card spots in the West are just absolutely. And if you're in the Central Division, you have no shot except for getting a wild card spot, and then you're fighting for that, and you're wondering if you can get yourself into that conversation, knowing that you're probably better than a couple of those teams, even toward the top of the Pacific Division. But you better play like it. Yeah. You got to play like it. So we'll talk Mammoth, of course, coming up and get you ready for that one. That's going to be happening at the 4 o'clock hour, 5 o'clock puck drop right here on your radio home of the Utah Mammoth. All right, so let's continue a little bit with some of the spring practice stuff because I think now, obviously, too, I think BYU squashed. I don't know, when was it, JJ? Maybe a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. They stopped doing the whole, well, freshmen don't talk until they take a snap. You know, like.
That was a while ago.
I don't think they really do that. That was more of a Bronco thing.
And there was
a
reason for it. I was at practice a lot at that time. There was one freshman in particular that said dumb stuff, and they just like, we're done. They're just like, we're going to solve this problem by not making any of them available.
Basically, this high school kid is supposed to be at prom coming up in the spring. We don't want him speaking for the program right now.
Basically, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And so that time has passed. But honestly, you shouldn't have to hear from freshmen. You should be able to hear. You should have a good enough team where you have juniors and seniors that can lead in that capacity.
Sure.
It's not often. I mean, if you want to go do a feature story from the media perspective on a new freshman or whatever, that's fine. But, I mean, when you have to roll a freshman out there in front of the mic often, that sometimes isn't a good thing. But in BYU's case last year, it was because Bear delivered.
So, speaking of Bear Bachmeier, sitting down, they're always standing, coming off the practice field, having a chat with the media. First availability for BYU's now veteran quarterback. Here's what Bear Bachmeier had to say as spring started up here.
Definitely beneficial and just knocking off the rust, but also building chemistry with the new guys, and so it's good.
Who are some of those new guys maybe who have stuck out to you so far?
Yeah, I mean, you got the new tight ends, Roger and Walker, and Kyler from Oregon, and then some of the freshmen as well, so yeah.
Obviously a lot of new faces in the wide receiver room. Have you seen anybody emerge there, and what have you noticed about the depth there?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of confidence in all those guys. I mean, I think it's self-explanatory that it's lined up right for JoJo to have a great year, and so he's looking really good.
Carson Ryan had such a productive year last year, more so than the other BYU tight ends in recent history. What do you think made his year so productive in terms of like your connection with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a testament to Carson and the kind of player that he is, and A-Rod and the staff schemed up well for him, and he had a marvelous year, and I can't wait to see him perform in Pro Day and get drafted here pretty soon.
Do you think there's anything that you can do to maybe reproduce that with some of the new tight ends coming in?
Yeah, of course. It's everybody's totally different, but once they get acclimated to our scheme and what we like to do, our tight ends are going to be dangerous again.
Hey Bear, what are you wanting to accomplish by the end of spring ball? Anything you individually would like to accomplish?
Yeah, I think schematically with our personnel, obviously getting acclimated to the new guys, just kind of what we were talking about. Getting adjusted to how they like to play, and then them getting adjusted to how I like to play as well. So just kind of making that chemistry stronger, and.
You obviously had a remarkable fall camp last year, but kind of a compressed opportunity to learn just how to implement the offense and succeed. Just kind of maybe transpose that to what you're going to be able to do this spring and how it's going to benefit you, and just how much of an advantage that could be for you going.
Yeah, no, definitely looking at last year, definitely a confined time to really divulge in the playbook and really take that all in. But obviously having a whole spring ball, getting it under my belt, it'll be very beneficial. It'll be very beneficial.
There's so much attention given, obviously, to spring ball and like being able to get out on the field, practices and all that. What's the big deal about off-season conditioning, kind of the extra weight room that you guys are able to go through? Have you already noticed a little bit of an advantage for being able to start to go through that you didn't get last year?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was at Stanford last year doing off-season training, but obviously being here and obviously being in higher elevation and getting even more used to that. It's beneficial, obviously. So yeah.
Did anything surprise you from the strength staff here that you kind of went through the first time?
I was here in the summer. They just try and kick your butts in the off season. So yeah,
that's thinking of the summer as the winter. They still try to.
Winter's rough, and winter's pretty rough, and summer will be rough as well. So yeah.
All right, there you go. Bear's got a lot of. He's got a lot ahead of him, man. He's got a lot of great football to be played ahead of him. I'll tell you what's interesting about him though, is he brought up, having the scheme down already is just such a big deal. That was the thing that put him head and shoulders above everybody else, was his head, right? And it was so obvious from the beginning that he got concepts faster than anybody else who was there, including the guys who were already there. And that's not to dig at those guys. He just has I don't want to say this without trying to – it's going to make these other guys not sound like they're smart, but Bear had the acumen to process all of it and to do it all.
Right.
And to do it all from the get-go.
So what he had, you're dead on. You have to keep in mind, first of all, he's a gosh dang centaur. He's a freak.
There's the physical specimen
so
part,
the physical part was always standing out. You saw a picture of him and the other quarterbacks in the room, and it's like one of these guys does not look like the others. But then you combine the mental acumen and the ability to pick up things so quickly. And at that point, it was apparent to everybody. And you remember Chase Roberts and others talking in fall camp last year. It's like, it's pretty clear. It became pretty clear who the guy was that was going to lead our team. It's because he separated himself. He actually had the physical capability to dominate combined with his mental capacity to dominate. And that's what he went out and did right from the get-go. He was terrific. He did not look like a freshman because he had that combination of things. And you just chalk it up to him being a very, very gifted young man, both physically and mentally. And you're starting to see some, I don't know, there was a little bit of an aw shucks with him. Not that it was, you know what I mean? Like, just, that's not even the word. You could tell he was young.
Yes.
You could tell he was young and everything was new to him, but it was just like, whatever. And it kind of worked because I don't think he felt like this massive amount of pressure. If he did, he didn't show it.
Yeah.
But he was just playing. He was just out there playing football. There was it wasn't like, if I don't get this play right, I'm coming out of the game. There was none of that. He just went out and was balling because he had the confidence that comes from being that physically gifted and that mentally gifted.
So I think that's the part they're not going to have to.
Special.
Yeah, they're not going to have to worry about him that much. But let's get over to the defensive side of things here quickly before we get to our first break of the hour. Kelly Poppinga, obviously, a lot of eyes on what he's going to do. I mean, the pressure is going to be on K-Pop, a guy who already knows the program well, already coached the positions on defense that were his charge, and then also was the special teams coordinator. So he has that Kalani trust already. It's like he's coming into a brand new situation. And he's also called plays on defense before. He's done the co-defensive coordinator thing, but it's different when you take over. I think the pressure of taking over from Jay Hill that people just said, that's the best defensive genius we've ever seen around here, and maybe got more. Now, Jay Hill was awesome. The thing is that this same defense and the base of how they run this defense is known by Kalani, known by K-Pop, known by Jay Hill, known by everybody who's on the staff, including like your Gary Andersons and your Chad Puas and all of that, right? Everybody who knows the system knows that system. They're not getting taught new stuff. And so Jay Hill going out, the seamless transition that I think BYU fans and BYU is hoping for. We'll see how that goes. But here's what K-Pop said in his first availability in spring as a defensive coordinator for BYU.
The main thing has been just the schedule and the routine of it all, right? And just being able to be able to find the routine of how things work and how things operate. And so it's been an adjustment, but I'll get used to it. But I would say that's the main thing, is just getting used to the amount of time people are coming to you, asking you questions, wanting to know how things are done, and kind of like the final answers to everything. But it's been fun. It's been a good adjustment.
Adding the assistant coaches that you have, what's it been like kind of building momentum as a coaching staff with a new group?
Yeah, those guys have been great, man. They're smart guys. Demo and Lewis have come right in and been able to, pick up on the techniques and the scheme, and really good coaches. I think they've gotten, the corners and the safeties. They've really caught on to those guys, and so I like what I see with that. And then, Chad Kahar, he's been around. So he's been around these guys. He's been around the scheme. So it's been pretty seamless right now, to be honest with you. I think we've been able to go a lot faster than I thought we were going to be able to go. And then those guys have provided some really good insight onto just like how they see our scheme, little tweaks that we can make to it, disguise some coverages, some blitzes and things. So it's been good to have their insight. Sometimes it's good to have somebody come from the outside to be able to kind of evaluate everything that's been going on. But at the end of the day, it's going to look very similar, but there'll be some tweaks to it too as well.
I realize it's probably a fool's errand to ask this 48-hour or 2 practices in the spring ball, but is there anything about this defense that you kind of came in here and it sort of surprised you, where like the guys sort of took to something maybe even better than you expected?
Oh, I just think the ones and the twos, they know the defense well. They're playing fast. They're making a ton of plays. I would just say the execution over the first 2 days I've been very pleased with, especially day one. I haven't watched the film from today yet, but day one I was very pleased with just the execution, the amount of the not many mental errors, right? Very few mental errors with those first 2 groups, and then the 3s and the 4s, they're learning it and going through it. But I love our leadership. I love our talent. I think we have a chance to be pretty good, but it's going to be day by day, just continue to build upon practice, and so we'll see. We'll watch the film and evaluate how today goes, but I think we're playing hard. I just think that it's a very experienced group, right? So I think they know how to do things the right way, so it's been fun to watch.
Kelly, I don't know if you've announced this or not, but do you plan on being on the sideline?
I don't know. I was just talking about that with somebody else. Like, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be. We'll kind of see what's best fitted for the staff, where I need to be, and who needs to be up in the box and needs to be on the sideline. But I have enjoyed my time on the sideline. It'd be hard to give that up, but I do know that as a coordinator, you need to kind of be in a space where the emotion of the game is away, and so you're not calling the game emotionally. I think that's going to work better for me, but I don't know. I've done both throughout my career. The majority of my career, I've actually been up in the box, and then since my time I went to Boise State, I think my last maybe 4 or 5 years I've been down on the field. So, but the majority of my career I've been up in the box. So I've done both. I think there's advantages to both of them, disadvantages. So.
You guys obviously losing a lot of production, and a certain guy who was at the combine last week, Jack Kelly, showed out pretty well. Where do you go kind of, I don't want to say replace a guy like that, because you can't replace one guy like that, I don't think, but where do you kind of start with him?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of options of just how we got it. I will do it. Cade Ulave that's come in, he looks great. I think Jake Clifton, another guy, he's looked really good. Those are 2 transfer guys. Jake just coming off his mission, but those guys have played a lot of football, both of those guys. And so then you combine that with the guys that we've already had with Ciale Acero and Isaiah Glasker and Miles Halls look really good, and Ace Kafu. There's a lot of guys. So it's going to be super competitive, and I think we got plenty of answers And Jack Kelly was a great player, and there's some stuff that he does that I don't think we'll be able to replace. But there's a lot of things that I think these guys can add to this scheme that maybe we haven't had in the past, and I'm just excited about the depth and the competition. And I think just over the past couple of years we've recruited that position very well, and so we're in a good spot.
Did you get a chance to pull up NFL Network and watch it a little bit?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he killed it. I think he did as good as any linebacker as far as from all the different drills. There might have been a guy that ran faster than him or jumped higher than him, but a cumulative number of every drill that he did, I thought he was outstanding. He's gonna move his stock up, I think, big time from what he did. I'm excited for him.
You kept so much of your roster intact, so many of your top contributors. How much confidence does that give you as a first-time coordinator at BYU to keep so many key ingredients in the kitchen?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I mean, it'd be a completely different ball game if I was dealing with a whole new, roster. And I think, props to those guys for believing in the system, believing in Kalani, because a lot of those guys stayed before I was even announced. So it wasn't so much to have to do with me. It had to do with, I think, just what they love about this program, what they love about Kalani, what they love about their teammates, and just what BYU provides them. And so I was happy to see that those guys come back and they've been practicing well. And so it's been fun. You just see those guys that have played a lot of football for us out there together, and the way that they're communicating together, the way they mesh together, I think is, it's going to be an advantage for us if we can continue to just stay together and, build on that. So it'll be fun.
You mentioned that a lot of the players had already decided to come back before you were named. Did you even have to have a lot of conversation with certain players trying to get them to come back?
Yeah, there was a lot of conversation on the phone before I was officially named, and I was doing that because I knew I was staying. I didn't know if I was staying as the coordinator or just staying as a position coach, but I knew I was staying here, and I didn't want to lose any of those guys, no matter what position or whatever role I had. And so there's a lot of phone calls, and I don't think there's a lot of convincing I had to do, to be honest with you. I think for the most part, everybody wanted to stay here, and they wanted to come back and try to finish this thing, better than we did a year ago, which is going to be hard, right? So that's a hard thing to do. To win 10 games in football is really hard. To win 11 is extremely hard, and to win 12. I mean, I've only done that's I think the first time in my career I've ever done that as a player or a coach. So it's going to be a big challenge for us, and I think just to be able to get all those pieces back that we've been able to get, that gives us the first start to be able to get there. But there's a lot of work that we're going to have to go through to get to that back to where we were last season.
Kelly, coming out of camp, what would you like to see the most from your defense at the very end?
Yeah.
What progress or anything you?
For sure, yeah. I think most coordinators, what they want to see is that the team is going to mesh together well, right? What's our team culture, our team chemistry going to be? What's our depth going to be? Like, we want to be able to build depth, and then we want to be able to help these older guys be able to get more and more confident in the scheme. And so I think for the most part they are, but the better that you get, it's that much harder to get better, right? So they're going to have to work their butts off to continue to get themselves better and get our team better. But when we walk out of here in a couple of weeks, I hope we just go into the offseason knowing that we're a really good defense and we got really good depth, and that we can run our scheme. And there's a lot of we've been very simple the first 2 days, and now we were just telling everybody, here comes the scheme. Here it comes. There's going to be install every single day from here on out. Different blitzes, different coverages, just a bunch of different fronts. And so for these new guys, we're not going to wait for them. They're going to have to, stay up with the rest of the team. And so with the rest of the team, I'm very confident that we're going to be able. We've done Coach Hill. We played a lot of different stuff. And so that's not going to change. Our identity is a part of that. Be able to play different fronts, be able to play different coverages, be able to have different blitzes, be able to be multiple. I think that's been one of our advantages over the last couple of years, and we got to continue to build on that.
Kelly Poppinga, K-Pop, the newest defensive coordinator, of course, down at BYU. What's the upgrade that they are getting with K-Pop? I mean, I know it's easy. That sounds like a tough question. Like, you can't right off the bat say, here's what he's better at. But what do you like about what K-Pop brings that maybe Jay Hill didn't have that he brings to this locker room?
This is a guy that played at BYU. I think that's the first thing that comes to my mind when you say that. This is a guy that knows what it's like to put on that uniform and to go out there and win at a high level. He was the member of the last conference champion at BYU. That matters. Like, you can go out there and say, hey, this matters to me, guys. I love this place. I love this university. I love this program. And every time you step out on the field, you need to have that same attitude and that same gratitude. I think that matters. And so, I mean, that was obviously, Jay Hill was a great defensive coordinator, and what he did was amazing. It's just you see the different perspective that Kelly Poppinga can bring from that perspective that I think can motivate and inspire these players. And I think that when you're a coach at your alma mater and you are a player and you've coached there, it just honestly, it's more than just a job. And I think he's going to bring that to his position. It's more to him than just a job.
I think that's exactly right. I mean, and that's not to say, I mean, they have a different energy too. K-Pop's intense. That's not to say Jay Hill's not. K-Pop is a guy that still feels like he's in the huddle halfway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I would view him as a player's coach.
Yeah, they love him.
You know what I mean?
They love him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it feels like a guy who, like I said, he's halfway in that huddle. Like he almost feels like he'd strap it up himself if he could.
He's going to bring the juice, and the players are going to have to match that.
All right. 30 minutes till hockey pregame fires up here on the program. We've got some more to chat about here when we come back. Let's jump in a little bit here and get you ready. Let's talk some Jazz, though. Got to get into some of this. Our Jazz Ticket Tuesday, of course. We're going to give away some tickets. We're going to get to some Jazz talk about that shorthanded Jazz team going up against the Denver Nuggets last night. And a heck of a show put on by Keontae George and Jamal Murray. We'll get to that next right here, 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz. It's time! All season long and even in the off season. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on a Tuesday edition of the program. We're with you for the next 20 minutes or so as we get you ready for Mammoth hockey from Washington, D.C. Pregame's going to start up at 4 o'clock and a 5 o'clock puck drop since they're on the East Coast. 5 games out of the next 10 days on the road, JJ. They need all of these that they can get. Every point they can squeeze out of this trip to the East is going to be absolutely vital. And after last Sunday's performance, what's that going to look like? I don't know. We've gotten we literally had we had a good, a bad, and an ugly over the last 3 games, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been you lose to Colorado. Shoot, man. And there wasn't some effort. There was some effort still there.
It wasn't a good performance, but it's the Avs. You live with it.
You have an awesome comeback. Not comeback, but you have an awesome bounce back from that game.
One of the best
Minnesota.
games they played all year.
5-2 over one of the West's best, one of the league's best. And then to lay an egg like that against Chicago made you just question everything again. So we'll see how they respond hitting the road, and they're going to have an early puck drop again right here. You heard the music as we came in here. We've got a couple things going on. Number one, the most important one, is that we're giving away some stuff. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday, so let's kick it off right now.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the 3. He hits! Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
801-575-ZONE. What is that? The number you call right now and be caller number 12, and you can get yourself a pair of tickets to see the Jazz and the Warriors coming up on March 9th. That's next Monday. All you have to do is be caller number 12. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-9663 on a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. So Keontae missed, 6 games in a row. Then and that was after coming back after missing some games, re-injures the ankle against the Magic on February 7th, and then you didn't see him for the vast majority of February. He plays a limited amount of minutes against the Pelicans on the 28th. Gets 17 points, but how about 30 minutes and 36 points for Key?
Pretty good.
Comes into the game, is 14 for 22 from the line. How many times last year did we see him take 22 shots, but he was like 6 for 22?
Yeah.
Or 2 for 9 from 3.
He wasn't an efficient player. He is now.
He's a better free throw shooter. He's a better 3-point shooter. He's a better field goal percentage, and he just absolutely scorches when he gets going. And last night, that 36 points was bested by Jamal Murray's 45, and it was a nice back and forth. I was saying this before when we just started the show, before I think you walked in, JJ. It was, you think of the battle that Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray had in the bubble, and then you think about this and you go, this guy's doing the same exact thing, and has the. I couldn't help but do the comparison thing because of that, and I thought, what did the Jazz have now with Keontae that they didn't have with Donovan? So I'll pose that to you. They go back and forth. They have a close game last night, and that's not for me to bring up, the past being the past that it was, but to be able to see Jamal Murray and the next superstar for the Jazz, Keontae George, go out there and go blow for blow. Awesome game. It was the second night of a back-to-back for the Nuggets. I get it. They were probably tired. They had a late one the night before. Who cares? They're a really, really good team. They have the best player in the world on their team. Fight me, I guess, if you want to talk about whether or not Jokic is the best player on the team or not.
He's the best flopper in the world.
Oh, my gosh. This guy. All right, so what do you like about Key's game that has gotten him to the point now that we can look, and it kind of is one of those things that helps you go, yeah, you know what? All the changes they've made, the moves they made to bring Larry Market in here from Cleveland, and then they sent Donovan packing after that. You saw the game last night. They came up short, but, man, I'm impressed by Keontae George night after night.
He's a star. You brought up all the stats, and 4 of 9 from 3. So he's out there knocking down step back threes. You referenced Donovan Mitchell, same kind of game, right? But then Keontae can also get to the hoop. He used his shot creation ability to get to the hoop last night. He's playing better defense. He had 4 steals last night. We need to give him credit for that. Like, he's playing both ends of the floor better. He's becoming a complete player. The most important thing about it is now we're seeing consistency out of him. He's great every night. There's rarely, there's been moments this season, maybe you had one game where but there's been weird stuff with this team all year. For the most part, he's been very consistent. And you see that in his numbers across the board. You see his season averages of 23.9 points per game, 3.8 rebounds, 6.4 assists, shooting 46% from the field, shooting 37% from 3. That's awesome. I mean, if you're going to get 37% shooting from a guy that has the ball in his hands all the time and can do the things that he's able to do on the court, you're going to take 37% because you got some other guys on the team that shoot even better than that. So there's just so much to like about what he's doing right now, the growth that he's shown in his game. What I really love, now I mentioned the consistency on the court, but I love the maturity out of him. Like, it's just clicked for him all of a sudden. You get through a couple years, and I think we can all understand that, as you're trying to grow and progress and figure some things out. Remember, he's 22 years old. He doesn't turn 23 until November. He doesn't turn 23 until next season.
You got it for a long time, potentially, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's in his 3rd year, and he's 22. Are you kidding me? But I don't see a 22-year-old out there right now. If you know 22-year-olds, he ain't acting like a 22-year-old right now. But I also there's also the youthful joy that he's playing the game with. You've seen that even when he wasn't playing, when he was out with his ankle, he's out there. He's the first guy jumping off the bench when Cody Williams throws down a big slam dunk. There's just so much to like about what he's doing. I guess what I'm saying is he's figured it out.
He really has. And by the way, with that loss last night,
Jazz really came in clutch in that final minute to make sure
Jazz
they came away with the
go.
L.
How about this one? Pelicans are 19-43 with that loss last night. The Jazz go right below the Pelicans in the standings. You hate to see it. 14th in the West are the Jazz. The 15th ranked Kings, who will not be. Well, there's bested and then there's worsted. They won't be worsted this year.
They don't need to be worsted.
No, it's fine.
They're a game and a half behind the Wizards in Tankathon. If the Jazz have the 4th worst record in the league at the end of the season, they pretty much guarantee they will not convey. Because they would have to drop 5 spots. I don't even think that's possible.
Huh.
So finishing in the bottom 4 would guarantee a top 8 lottery pick, and they would keep the pick.
You know what the assignment is,
and they're doing it.
But more importantly, like, you can have games like that. Will you tell me quickly your beef with Jokic?
Look, this is the best. This is a 3-time MVP. Mm-hmm. Why does he have to do all this clown crap?
He's
the arm bars, the hooking, the flopping.
He's a small body out there on the floor with a bunch of big guys around him.
Some of the crap he was doing last night just made me mad. Like, dude, you're one of the best players that have ever played this game. What are you doing this crap for?
He's that guy at church ball.
It's like he gets bored and he's just going to like be an irritant.
And you're like, gosh, this guy, come on, man. You're 11 years older than everybody else.
You just
and
can't
don't
help
move as
yourself.
well, so you're kind of cheating a little
You've
bit.
just got to be a jerk, man. That last member that play on the last minute, obviously, let me start with the Keontae George thing. Like, Keontae George is doing his job. He's boxing out on a guy that's 6 inches taller than him.
Yes, yeah.
And Jokic just puts all his weight on him and falls on top of him. Like, I know I know what he's doing, but that's not funny. Like, you could hurt him. Can you imagine hurting an NBA player because you're just being a jack? You know what?
There was a lot of words. There were a lot of words right there.
I
you
said
heard him.
jackwagon. Pull a little Jerry Sloan there.
That was like the fourth one. Your brain, I saw go through about 5 different
around
things.
last night, and it bothered me. I've never made Napolis hit the dump button, but I just about did.
Oh, I think we've gotten it.
And then in the final minute, that takedown of Filipowski, and Kyle gets called for the foul.
I know.
And the refs let him get away with it. Drives me nuts.
Imagine 17-year-old Flip like 2.5 years ago when you're guarding Jokic in the league. And you're like, no, please don't make me do that.
Nah, no thanks.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back, get you ready for Mammoth hockey right around the corner. Stay with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us. A shortened show that got lengthened that's still a short show. That's where we are today. The KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals want to help you remember that the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week program is rolling on here. We do it every week. KSLSports.com/contests. Every Thursday we read the winners off, and then Beehive Meals throws in $250 to the way of that youth sports volunteer who makes a difference in your community. So do it for yourself, do it for somebody else, and say, hey, we want to honor those people who do a great job in their communities. KSLSports.com/contests. Mammoth Capitals tonight. Out in the nation's capital. JJ, how does this one shake out for the Mammoth?
I'm a little concerned tonight. I didn't like what I saw on Sunday. The Capitals have a lot to play for. They're desperate for a win. How desperate are the Mammoth? I'm interested to see their effort tonight.
Interested to see what's going to happen to goaltender as well. So we'll see how it goes. Are we going to see Veggie again? We'll see. All right, Mammoth hockey coming up right now. Stay right here. Stay dialed in. You're home of the Mammoth. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.